This channel looks at the issues facing our environment and our health. Its purpose is to summarize and share evidence-based information with you. Click on the subscribe button to get notified of new episodes, and if you have already subscribed, thank you. In this episode, I chat with my good friend Sheri about e-cigarettes and vaping tobacco.
Hi, Julia. Thanks for inviting me to join you on your channel today. Vaping is such a hot topic. Yeah, I did that. And a controversial one. I heard the outgoing FDA chief wants to make it illegal for vape products to be sold at gas stations and convenience stores. Yikes.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Okay, so everyone knows smoking cigarettes is dangerous. It can cause lung cancer and emphysema. But isn't vaping safer?
I'm glad you used the word safer. Let's take a look at what that means. When you vape, you're not exposed to some of the toxic ingredients in cigarette smoke, such as tar, so the harm on your health from vaping is reduced, but not eliminated. You may have heard tobacco companies, even public health advocates, promoting tobacco harm reduction. The FDA states that there is a tobacco continuum of risk, with cigarettes as the most risky, but where other nicotine delivery systems pose less risk to health. The model of harm reduction originated to help drug addicts to reduce the negative consequences of drug use, and it encompasses various practices and strategies to empower addicts to manage their addiction. The harm reduction model was subsequently attached to tobacco products, and e-cigarettes were categorized as less risky than cigarettes, as they don't burn tobacco. Rather, they generate an aerosol to deliver nicotine to the user. As a result, e-cigarettes don't produce smoke containing carbon monoxide or hydrogen cyanide or tar.
So, is it true? Is there less harm from tobacco with e-cigarettes?
Great question. The short answer is we don't know yet, because these products are relatively new. We do know that e-cigarettes don't just deliver nicotine into your lungs and bloodstream. There are other chemicals and fine particles in e-cigarettes with associated toxicities. Fine particles are linked to increased risk of cardiovascular disease. The heating mechanism in vaping devices releases fine particles of metals such as tin, iron, nickel, and chromium that are inhaled into the lungs.
Ew, what? Metal particles in my lungs? I thought vape was nicotine and sweet fruity flavors.
Glad we're talking about nicotine. Nicotine is addictive. Within seconds of an inhalation, it affects our brain's reward system, urging us to continue using. The more we inhale nicotine over time, the more we crave it. Nicotine doesn't only affect our brains. When used, it activates your sympathetic nervous system, increasing heart rate and blood pressure. E-cigarette use increases your risk of having a heart attack. There is evidence that although nicotine is not categorized as a carcinogen, it can promote cancer onset and growth. Nicotine levels in e-cigarettes varies by product, but it can be much higher than in regular cigarettes. The product called Juul has a vaping pod with 20 times the amount of nicotine than is found in a typical cigarette. That's the equivalent to a whole pack of cigarettes.
20 times the amount of nicotine that's in a cigarette? You're making me a little nervous now. Well, at least the flavorings are made of fruit, so how bad could that be?
Flavors offered in e-cigarettes range from sweets and candies to alcohol flavors. They're artificial, not real fruit. Flavor chemicals can irritate and damage your lungs. One of the chemicals used in buttery flavors, called diacetyl, caused an outbreak of irreversible lung disease among factory workers, where the chemical was used to flavor popcorn. It doesn't seem like a good idea to risk putting this chemical in e-cigarettes. Worse yet, Flavoured e-cigarettes are named to appeal to kids with names like Lucky Charms, Honey Doo Doo, Dragon's Blood and Strawberry Shortcake. There's no doubt that flavours with these kinds of names are designed to appeal to kids. In fact, 99% of teen e-cigarette users started out vaping with flavoured e-cigarettes. E-cigarettes appeal to youth. Data shows vaping is popular among young people and the numbers of kids vaping is on the rise. Last count, 37% of 12th graders reported vaping compared to 28% in 2017.
Lucky Charms? That is so wrong. I love that cereal. I'm not gonna lie, all the science about vaping is kind of ruining my day.
Wake up! Time to die.
I've heard that vaping at least helps people quit smoking cigarettes. That's gotta be true, right?
Sorry, more bad news. A meta-analysis published in 2016 by scientists at the University of California, San Francisco, found that e-cigarette use among smokers meant they were less likely to quit than smokers who didn't vape. Some experts claim that continued vaping and the perception that it's better for your health helps to maintain addiction to nicotine and to smoking. Besides, there are already nicotine replacement products such as gums or patches available to help with smoking cessation. These are nicotine delivery systems that don't involve inhaling a heated aerosol into your lungs. By the way, if you are thinking of quitting or advising a friend about quitting, I recommend calling the free hotline 1-800-QUIT-NOW for advice to get started, or talk to your healthcare provider. There are many nicotine replacement therapies available that can help you to quit. If you do vape or smoke, quitting tobacco is the very best thing you can do for your health.
Julia, my teenage daughter wants to know straight up, does vaping cause cancer?
It took decades of scientific study to prove that smoking cigarettes cause cancer, and it will likely take years to prove the negative health effects of vaping.
Okay, I get it. We need evidence before we can say that. But what about plain common sense? Can we tell teenagers that vaping is very similar to smoking cigarettes and just don't be dumb? Could that be the FDA's new position? Vaping, don't be dumb.
Absolutely.
So what's the bottom line about vaping, Julia?
1. E-cigarettes may be less harmful if you're a cigarette smoker who switches to vaping only and completely gives up cigarettes. But this isn't typical, as most people use both e-cigarettes and regular cigarettes. And e-cigarettes are a different product to cigarettes that have their own hazards, such as flavouring chemicals and fine metal particles. We need more research to fully understand the health effects of vaping tobacco. 2. Vaping doesn't seem to help people quit smoking and can actually encourage them to relapse. 3. Vaping is getting more popular among teens, and unfortunately, more kids vaping may lead to more adults smoking cigarettes. And 4, e-cigarettes are not among FDA-approved cessation treatments to help smokers quit. They are nicotine delivery systems that help keep us addicted to nicotine and that entice young people to try vaping. Addicting us to nicotine creates new customers and keeps existing customers to buy product only benefiting the companies that make e-cigarettes. This leads to bigger profits for the manufacturers and sellers of vaping devices. Honestly, if these companies were really serious about helping people to quit nicotine, why would they continue to promote their products? And if they didn't want to attract new users, why include flavors that appeal to teens? If you want to research further into this topic, I've included a list of references in the video description. Share your comments below and let me know if you like this video. Let me know your suggestions for future topics for this channel. Click on the subscribe button to get notified of new episodes. And if you've already subscribed, thank you. Thanks very much to Sheri for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.